It's not good enough anymore to just say, this is something that's hard. It's something we're working on. It's like we want a plan that is fleshed out, that will be enforceable, and that community members can be a part of.
I think I think for me and a lot of the people I know, it would be like almost a no-brainer to vote for something like this. But we kind of have a hiccup when it comes to like Nashville's history of kind of like prettying things up and then that area getting totally gentrified, like demolished and rebuilt as something else that we can't afford to be a part of. And so I'm just wondering, like, is there a plan inside this plan to protect the areas that you're like Murfreesboro Pike and Trinity and Dickerson? Sorry, it's like I've been here for a long time and it really. But yeah, that's my question.
Yeah. So that is a huge struggle that we have in Nashville, and it arose a lot of the 2018 programming was proposed then. That had light rail that was part of it, and there was a big fear for many in the community that if you did something like that with light rail, that you immediately made those corridors more attractive to development. Since then, those corridors are continuing to change, and the issue with rents and housing is continuing to be a problem. And we've still done nothing with our transit service to make it as comparable to your cities. I would say this is a very first stepping stone for us to improve the transit system. If we can build trust along delivering this program, I think it gives us opportunities to go back, look at some of the other ways to either get grant money or generate revenue.
There's no plan in here for that already. Like, cause I won't vote for it unless there's
displacement.
Yeah, unless there's investment in the community that's already there instead of like, we know that it's gonna make us a target, so why not plan for that as well?
And then about language accessibility, I'm very involved in the immigrant community, and I'm just wondering about what the signs are gonna look like. Will they be in different languages, and how are our drivers being trained in order to provide assistance to a lot of people, because especially the bus route that I ride, there's a huge immigrant community that oftentimes are not able to communicate with the driver in English, and so I just want to quickly inquire about that.
Yeah, so the sign that we were shown up here earlier was an all blue MTA sign, and you still see those out there. So as improvements are made to the stop, you'll see a new call put in and a new sign that has that purple branding on it. What was not happening before is that you had a big icon that indicated it was a bus on both sides, which is something that was potentially designed for anyone that has language barriers. So it could just be that someone can't read, and it's not maybe a language issue, but it's to indicate that is a bus stop. And it's on both sides now so that you can see it in both directions. Whereas before it was a blue sign only in one direction, and it looked like it was like a little Trivial Pursuit pie that was part of the MTA website. Then they've also tried to tailor down the wording that's on it. I've heard and having these sessions just mixed reaction to that. So the wording has tried to be more concise, just convey the route info. And then it gives a QR code to where a rider can scan that, pull up the system information, and then go in and translate it. There's pluses and minuses to that because there's less information that is on the sign. It, in many instances, makes it easier to read for those in English, but it's requiring a second or third step for other languages to access that. And I think we'll continue to be open as to how to improve that going forward.
We wanted to do this just because we know this is a huge deal. How many of y'all sit in traffic every day or at least once a week? Yep. How many of y'all are voters? All right. How many of y'all are worried about rent prices going up or maybe having to move? All right. So as you can see, this is a huge deal in our community, and these issues are all tied in together. People say, you know, how is this going to be different? I know a lot of well-intentioned people have come into the community and they've told me, hey, we're doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, that sounds good, but then the effect hasn't been there. The benefit has gone to corporations and not the people who need that stuff there. So how is this going to be different? Why does it feel like whenever the city does something, things are happening to me and not with me, happening to community and not with us? So we want to make sure that with this transit plan and everything going forward, that we're remembering that we're the ones who have the power.